Archbad on the beat.
Hi guys, this is David with Btekt, and I'm finally getting around to my review of the Honor View 20. I've been using this one solid for about 3 weeks now, and it is very hard to fault this phone. It's an affordable handset with a price tag of around about £499, and this isn't just an assembly of cast off parts from the Mate 20. No, this phone has some new and very interesting technology in it. Okay, maybe some of the parts are cast offs from the Mate series, but only the very important bits, like the Kirin 980 processor, which is supported by the same 6GB of RAM and 128GB of onboard storage. But there is a version with 256GB of storage as well, which is probably the one to go for, especially when you consider that there's no expandable storage. This is all powered by a healthy 4000 mAh battery, which runs on Honor's Magic UI as standard, which is based on Android 9 Pie, and will let this handset benefit from all the features associated with it, including the adaptive battery. So battery life is very good on this phone, easily getting me through a full day, with more than 50 or even 60% left over, and that's without using the battery saving options. The Honor View 20 is definitely a looker. As with most of the Honor flagships, it has this unique nano texture pattern across the back, which moves around in the light, so it does look really cool, but it is a bit of a fingerprint magnet. But it's not just a good looking phone on the back, it also has a very sharp and bright 6.4-inch IPS LCD Full HD Plus display with 1080 by 2310 resolution and a pixel density of 398 ppi. It has extremely minimal bezels all around, especially at the top where we have this hole cut display, which houses a 25 megapixel front facing camera. It's a shame it's not an OLED screen, but it's an affordable phone. So I guess this is one of the concessions that had to be made, and I would much rather have a good quality LCD display than a low quality OLED display any day. And this is definitely a high quality LCD display. It's very sharp and very bright, as I've already said, but I'm not sure if I actually prefer a hole cut display to a notch display. Okay, it's probably preferable to the old big style notch, but I think I prefer the dewdrop notch to this hole cut thing. I think the dewdrop just looks better because it's further up on the display for starters, and just looks more like it's supposed to be there. Whereas the hole cut display is, well, it's just basically a hole on your screen. And sometimes it catches my eye, and for a split second I think there's a dead spot on my screen. But then I remember, oh yeah, there's not. That's how it's supposed to be. And I think it probably is something that you get used to. But even after all this time, I'm not sure I'm used to it yet. I don't want to sound like I'm trashing it too much because I love innovation and new approaches to solving problems. But personally, I do prefer a dewdrop display. Despite this phone having a display that's over 6 inches, the lack of pretty much any bezels at all and the tall aspect ratio make it feel quite small in the hand. Probably a little bit too small for me, but I do have quite big hands. But then again, some people will think that it's the perfect size. But probably the most interesting feature to this handset is the 48 megapixel camera system that's backed up with a 3D time of flight sensor. Now this sensor will fire out an infrared beam and then measure the slight differences in the time that different parts of that beam take to get back to the sensor. With this data, it can accurately gauge the distance of objects away from the camera, which makes for improved accuracy with depth of field shots such as portrait and aperture modes. Does it work? Well, yes it does, but it's not flawless, and probably not quite as accurate as I'd hoped it would be. It definitely does improve the accuracy and capabilities of the portrait modes over the traditional sensors, but it's still not quite as good as the Pixel 3 is in portrait mode. Check out my comparison between the View 20 and the Pixel 3, which is playing on the channel now. As for that new Sony made 48 megapixel sensor, well, it delivers bags of detail in every shot. It's covered by a 25mm f1.8 lens and uses the pixel binning technique to combine 4 pixels into one to give you an extremely clean and sharp 12 megapixel shot. You do have the option of course to shoot at 48 megapixels, and there's even a 48 megapixel ultra clarity shot, which works in a similar way to the night mode and uses the AI stabilization to keep the camera steady as it takes multiple exposures at 48 megapixels and then combines all that data together to give you one ultra clear, clean and sharp shot. I find that you do need to be extra still when you're taking these ultra clarity shots, and even though the stabilization is extremely good, it does find it a lot harder to steady a 48 megapixel shot, but when you get it right, the results are incredible. The video is capped at 30 frames per second in 4K resolution, which I still find a little bit strange considering that this handset is running a Kirin 980. Such a powerful chipset should be able to handle 4K 60p, and I do wonder if we will see it at some point this year through updates. But then I was wondering that about the P20 Pro for all of last year.
Be my lover, my lady, take you higher. Gonna take you for a ride on a pink jet plane.
Connectivity on this phone is outstanding, especially Wi-Fi connectivity, thanks to its triple antenna. The point of it is that when you're gaming and holding the phone in landscape mode, you're covering the antennas with your hands, so it can compromise the Wi-Fi performance. But on this phone, they've taken that into account and have added an extra antenna. Does it make any difference? Well, I have noticed that this phone does have a very strong connection, and I haven't had any problems with it at all losing connection or switching between my home networks. The call quality is excellent as well. Even though that earpiece speaker is mounted right on the top corner of the device, voice still comes through crystal clear, which is a good job really, because what's the point in having a blingy 48 megapixel phone? That's crap at being a phone. So if you're wondering, there's no problems there. Dual GPS system on this device, which greatly increases the accuracy of your location-based services. So for example, your Uber driver won't pull up on the wrong side of the street and 20 meters up the road. He will know exactly where you are thanks to the View 20. All in all, for £500, I think this is a great buy. It won't appeal to everybody. Some people don't really go in for that shiny, blingy look, and I think it will probably appeal more to the younger users. But that said, it is very well equipped and has lots of new and interesting technology on board. I've done some more videos about the View 20 already, so if you want to know more about this device, then head over to Btekt and check out my View 20 content, and I'll stick a link in the description below. And of course, I want to say a big thank you to Direct Mobiles for looking after us here at Btekt. With an incredible 24 years of award-winning customer service and now comparison tools, it's just a great place to go if you're after a good deal on your next handset. You will find a link in the video description below, or you can just search directmobiles.co.uk. And that's it from me guys, thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button, double tap the notification bell and smash the like button for me. I just put out my Mate 30 Pro concept video, which is just my best guess as to what I think the Mate 30 Pro will look and be like. So if you're interested in that, you'll find a link in the description, or head over to btekt.com and check it out. I'm David Wildman, and this is Btekt.
It's Archie Ginsburgh.